I remember during the recession, you could go buy a rent house for 30, 40, $50,000
Yeah.
and they were sitting there. Nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
get them at 6, 7% interest rate, 8% interest rate. Nobody wanted them at that pricing because money gets scared. But that's where the opportunity is. You have to have a little bit of a risk, a little bit of riverboat gambler in you to go on to the next level, because you're not going to get anywhere in life without taking a risk. You have to step out of your comfort zone.
If you're a real estate agent earning $200,000 a year and you want to grow your passive income, this show is for you. Learn secrets other agents use and hear from experts in our field who will guide you on your journey to investing in assets like apartment communities so you can take your commissions and turn them into cash flow. Here's your host, Randall. Let's dive in.
All right, welcome back. Today you have a treat. We have a huge operator in the multifamily space joining us. His name is Robert Martinez with Rockstar Capital out of the Houston market. This guy went from slinging oil and gas back in the early 2000s to building a massive portfolio of multifamily properties. Over 4,000 units under management, vertically integrated with their own property management. And we talk about really what's happening in the market right now, what he's been going through with all of his properties, with the increase in taxes, the increase in insurance, the increase in rates, drop in prices. So he's an open book and he gets into the nitty gritty, and it's a really good conversation. So if you want to know what's happening in the market right now, this is a great conversation with Robert Martinez. Let's jump in. Here we go. Hey, welcome to the show. Today, if we could start, I know that you have won a ton of awards in the property management field. So I'm curious, did you start first with the property management business, or were you in the real estate investment side first?
Great question. My family doesn't come from real estate. And my dad worked at a fast food company here in Texas for better part of 45 years. So all of my real estate education came from a real estate club. I have a formal education from Texas A&M University. I have an engineering degree. I did that for 10 years. And what I realized, like everybody else, is that I don't control my financial future. My boss does. And after they monkeyed with my commission plan more than enough times, I decided to look around and take my future into my own hands. I was business radio, listening every day when I'm on my way to sales calls, and I heard this wacky guy on the radio. And I decided to go in and joined his program. Went first on a Thursday night free event, then paid $500 to go to this 2-day boot camp. And it was there that I got introduced to multifamily investing. Didn't even know what that was. I thought I was going there to learn single family and how to be like a single family king. And in the end, I want to be the apartment rock star. So when I got out of that program, I was ready to go. It's an opportunity to put large amounts of money to work, an opportunity to pay less taxes. And then just as you're working it, you're watching your baby grow. And over the next several years, I became really good at property management along with my company. And we've earned 19 city, state, national apartment association awards. And I'm the country's only 2-time national apartment owner of the year.
Yeah, I saw that. Congrats on that. That's good.
Thanks.
So again, you started, was it always, hey, I want to do both at the same time? I'm going to control my own destiny. I'm going to actually have the property management company so that I can control all of that? Or over time, you had to build that because you saw that third party management was not giving you the results?
No, I was really fortunate. The real estate club that I joined, they required you to quit your day job.
Got it.
They said that if you're going to be responsible for taking people's money, then you should quit your day job.
Yeah.
And that made sense to me. I would want someone doing that for me. And so that's what happened. I started my own management company first in 2007 and had a partner. He and I went on to buy about 2,000 units. I was the operating arm. He was the face of the company. And in 2011, I started Rockstar and went on to buy, I don't know, about 30 deals. And we still have 23 today. The other 7 have gone full cycle and have sold.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. What was the name of the group that you joined, the investment group?
Yeah. So the name of the company was called Lifestyles Unlimited. It's a real estate company in Houston, Texas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I know a lot of guys who have done lifestyles. And so that model, did you mirror their model for a long time in your own investments? Because the structure is they get part of the deal or something. Is that right? I don't know if you can elaborate on that a little bit.
No, not at all. Maybe other groups that have lifestyles, they just teach you.
Gotcha.
So I got lucky. Back in the day, it was $10,000 to join the club. Today, it's probably closer to $30,000 or $40,000, but they don't retain any ownership in it. That's not how they're structured. They teach you and then you go raise the equity yourself. And so fantastic group. It just teaches you to replace your income. It doesn't teach you to grow and scale. So the scaling that I've done has had to come on my own. Yeah. So the mistakes you make, the bumps and the bruises, but then also the triumphs, the successes. I've raised $184 million of private equity. That was more than anybody in that club had ever done. But it's because I was successful at what I did. To date, I've returned $134 million. So when you have a track record, including 15, 100% refinance cash outs for the investor, then people want to give you more and more money.
Yeah, for sure. So when you first started out, then this is again going back to 2007. We know what happened in 2008, 2009. So was it easy to raise capital in 2007? First, right out of the gate, you are.
Yeah, it was tough. It was easy before the crash. And after the crash, just like right now, what's going on in the crash that we've had, it's very difficult to raise equity. A lot of guys are in other deals, a lot of investors. And so they see those deals struggle. So they're very careful with putting new equity. And I remember my first deal was 1.5 million. And this is in the heart of the recession. This is where I first raised a deal by myself. I was already done with my partner, was in 2010. And I raised 1.5 million. And it took me the better part of 60 days to raise 1.5 million. And in just 2 years ago, when I was raising my last deals, I raised $18 million in 60 days, and I raised $20 million in the same amount of time. But $1 million comes in pretty quickly based on all of the leads that we have. But back then, people were scared. It was unproven. And it's crazy because we were buying deals at $24,000 a door. Like that's nothing. I remember during the recession, you could go buy a rent house for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And they were sitting there. Nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
You could get them at 6%, 7% interest rate, 8% interest rate. Nobody wanted them at that pricing because money gets scared. But that's where the opportunity is. You have to have a little bit of a risk, a little bit of riverboat gambler in you to go on to the next level, because you're not going to get anywhere in life without taking a risk. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You cannot live in that box. All the good things that in life that come are outside of that box. They're not here. This is what everybody else does. So if you don't do what everybody else does, then you're going to have what everybody else has. If you want a different lifestyle, you're going to have to take a risk and do things that no one else has. I remember when I was doing this, I was really involved with our church, and I started to lose my church friends because the conversations weren't good. I was talking about stuff. They weren't interested in hearing about it. They were talking about their everyday stuff. And I'm like, okay. And they say that it's lonely at the top or it's lonely as you get more and more successful. That's 100% true, because people don't want to talk to people that are successful like that. Most don't. They have a scarcity mentality. I fortunately did not. I like hearing stories. I like hearing about people's successes because it motivates me. So as you get wealthier and you get further down in your career, and especially in real estate, then that pile shrinks and it's harder to find quality people. I was in a mastermind the other day where everybody in the room had like at least 4,000 units. And I was blown away because I want them to be my friends now. Like we were having the common conversations, common things that we're going through with all the banking crisis and that son of a bitch devil, Jeremy Powell, and all the things that he's doing. We were all sharing those stories together. It's amazing. It's amazing when you can find common like people, but you can't early on.
Yeah.
Because they don't relate.
All right, let's be a fly on the wall then in that room, because that's a fantastic group to be a part of. And so what are some of the takeaways that you came out of that meeting with, like right now in this economic cycle? We could talk about how we ramped up and all of that, but everybody knows where we are. So what are you guys seeing in the market? What was the key takeaway or some of the key takeaways?
I can't disclose everything, but I can tell you the personalities in the room. Everybody checked it at the door. Everybody's has success. Everybody's raising money. Everybody's got a big portfolio, and everybody was there to listen because they realize how serious what's going on. If you've lost a deal, they want to hear what happened in your story. How can we learn? We have a lot of the common lenders together. Well, this is how they handled us, and this is how we got our extension, or this is what they're doing over there. It was a lot of transparency, but also a lot of like grit. To get to that level, you've got to have it here and you got to have it here. That brain has obviously got to get there, but you also have to have the heart to not quit, because what's going on is that as interest rates go up, our cap rates go up with it, which means our valuations go down. At the same time, you've had monster increases in taxes and insurance. And if your debt service has gone up, you're now paying more per day. I remember a couple of deals that I had, we were paying $15,000 a month in January 22. And up until we refinanced the other day, we were paying $63,000 a month. That $50,000 delta in the wrong direction, that eats your cash flow, that eats your reserves. And so everybody was going through that. So it was really good to hear the stories of how some have overcome it, but also we all need that brotherhood. We need that inspiration that others are going through it too, that commonality. And so what I learned is that nobody in that room was a loser. Everybody in that room does not quit. Everybody in that room is a winner. And they're not going to put their head in the sand like an ostrich waiting for this to go by. And that's what's happened to a lot of people that have lost deals or people that are in our industry. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I can tell you the common thing is that everybody in that room does self-management. Nobody does it with a third party. They're running their own deals. And because you have control, that third-party manager you hire, they have no skin in the game. The moment you can't pay their bills, they're out. They're checking out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who the Tide Equity guys are. They're a big, fantastic group that bought a lot of deals, and they had cash flow issues. And their third-party management company, which is called RPM, issued them a notice one morning and said, hey, we're out of money. Can't pay. Our bills haven't been paid in 30 days, 60 days, whatever the number was. We're out. And they were gone in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Left them holding the bag. So they're not on the same side. But when you run your own deals, you can have an ability to move things around and work a plan. They're just not motivated the right way.
Yeah. So for anyone listening that does not know the difficulty of changing management companies, can you elaborate on why that's such a big deal? Somebody can just pick up and leave in 3 hours and you're left holding the bag and trying to collect rent on hundreds of units?
Yeah, because the moment the staff realizes that they're not going to get paid, they're going to leave too. So they could leave with the management company. You could sit there and try to give them a song and a dance on why you have money. They know that you just got a letter that says you don't have money. So you can lose staff immediately. And then you start wondering, are you out of money to pay utilities, water, electricity for the residents, common services? Who's going to manage anything that's broken? Those are the first things. And then you may not have access to all the bills. You got to find, here's all the bills that we owe. And you find out that you got $1 million in backlog that you didn't even know that you haven't had, that hasn't been paid. And then you got to you got to get all the lender contacts together. They're going to freak out because who's the number one owner in every one of these deals? It's not the LP. It's not you and the $100,000 you put in. It's Wells Fargo or whoever that put in 75% of the cash. And on a $20 million deal, they put in $15 million. They're the owner.
Yeah.
They're going to flip out. They're going to assign an asset manager, somebody to it. So it's really bad when that happens.
Yeah. So what are the conversations then? I didn't know we were going to get on this road. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, but what are some of the conversations with lenders like right now?
Yeah. Number one is you got to communicate with your lenders. If you're going to have a situation with your lender, you got to communicate. We just refinanced 2 deals in February, and both of those deals expired middle of last year in May. And the reason why I couldn't get them, well, they're matured. I couldn't get them refinanced because my taxes jumped 100% just abnormally out of nowhere. And they saw that, okay, let's try to work out, let's work through the process. They know the process. And month after month, I'm giving them updates. I'm telling them what's going on. I'm keeping occupancy high, but it wasn't happening. Then they said, okay, this is a balance sheet loan for us. We got to get it off, but we need to get some skin in the game for you. Can you put another 100,000 to pay down the note? Can you put 100,000 to give us as an escrow? Yes, we do it. But we had to work with them every single step of the way until we finally refinanced. They extended me 10 months, almost a year past the original 5-year loan date. But that doesn't happen if you have a bad relationship. That doesn't happen if you haven't been hitting your DSCR requirements in the past. They know what happened. They saw with your taxes go up. They saw your insurance, especially if you're in any of the Gulf properties on the southwest part of Texas. We had massive increases from like $500 a door 3 years ago, $600 a door 3 years ago, to $2,000 a door a year ago. Fortunately, it's come back down. We're down to around $1,300, which has made the difference. But they know you're going through it. They know that they need to work with you. Otherwise, they're not going to get paid either.
Yeah.
It's better to stay with you and work with you and help you get to the finish line than it is for them to take it back, start over, and now risk losing their investment. So I kept them in the game the entire way. And I was blessed beyond it, because that's all, it was a blessing that they gave me until February to get it done. And it's funny because they took it off of their books and then they became the lender for the permanent debt agency loan that we got.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they rolled it basically.
Yeah.
So there's a sentiment in the market on the multifamily front that a lot of deals are going to be coming back and will be trading for a lot less, or what the banks have them at. And so are you seeing that? Or do you think that it's extend, pretend, lenders don't want the properties back?
I really think it depends on the borrower, the quality of the borrower. If they want to do loans with you again in the future, my lender, KeyBank, large lender, realized we have other loans. I had millions of dollars with them. They know this wasn't my fault. This is not operator error. This was a situation where these non-operating charges, taxes, insurance, and then debt service came in and bid us all together. They're in the boat with me.
Yeah.
So they're making a calculated bet. Do I want to keep working with him? They could have said, no, it's done. And in May, it would have been worth less.
Yeah.
But we had to keep working NOI to get it up. And then finally in February, we had the NOI where we needed to be so that we could get a refinance loan and get them paid out. I bid on a deal yesterday where the guy bought the deal in 2019 for $8 million and he's trying to sell it. He's got a low maturity. The lender does not want to extend it on May 1st. And I said, bro, it's only worth 6.4. And it's, what if I do seller financing with you at 8 million and we'll do it at 9%? And in a year, you can make all these improvements. My performance says that it's actually worth $12 million if you can do what you say you're going to do. I'm like, great. So you want me to pay you pro forma? You want me to pay you for value that I haven't created yet? No, I'll wait for the bank. I'll hang out around the rim and I'll make sure that I go talk to the bank and say, hey, I can bid on this deal. I can, because it's not worth loan value right now.
Yeah.
Loan value is closer to 7 million.
Yeah.
6.8. I think it's 6.8 and I'm at 6.4.
So when does the shoe drop? That's a lot of people are asking that same question.
Yeah, I think the shoe has begun dropping.
Yeah.
I think, as I mentioned earlier, those Tides guys lost the deal. The lenders were not going to work with them. They're out the foreclosure. There's 3 deals in Dallas that we're looking at. And somebody on my team knows the lenders. So we're trying to say, hey, can we get into that deal? Yeah. So I think everybody got caught on this. Lenders are not in the habit of losing money. They're just not. So if they have a good operator that they think can stay in it and rescue them, they can do it. If it's a Fannie Freddie Mae loan, they may be able to do it. If it's a personal balance sheet loan that the lender did on a bridge loan out of their own funds, they have auditors that come in.
Yeah.
And they see what they've lent out versus their assets. And they may need you to rebalance, meaning that you may need to pay off some of that loan to get it back into the covenants because you violated the covenants now. So this story is happening everywhere. It doesn't get as much news because nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to drown, right? Imagine putting a paper bag or a plastic bag over your head. All you have is that air in that bag. So you're looking for ways to poke holes. You're looking for ways to get more air into that bag because at some point you're going to run out. And that air is money or it's time.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah. Okay, so we went down that road. Let's go back. You have all these 4,000 plus doors. Are those owned and managed?
Yes, all of them.
Okay. And then you mentioned Dallas. So I thought you may have focused mainly in Houston. So where exactly is Rockstar investing? Where are you guys buying things right now? And what are you looking for?
Yeah, 80% of our properties are in the greater Houston area, mostly the suburbs and South Houston. But we have about a 20% concentration down in South Texas and a tertiary market down in Corpus and Kingsville.
Okay.
And so that's where we are now. But I do realize that there's deals everywhere. I've always thought Dallas was so expensive to get into that I was always waiting for that once I get in, the shoe's going to drop or I'm going to catch a falling knife. But this is an opportunity to get into what I think is a very good market in Dallas that's going to continue to be a good market. So if I can take advantage of somebody else's misery, then that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I am watching Dallas closely.
Got it. So on the arc of your investments, when you started, were you buying C, B, and have you moved because in Dallas, maybe are you looking for A class or have you shifted your investment philosophy over the years that you've been doing this?
Yeah, everybody gets started with C class, everybody, because that's the cheapest product.
Yep.
And C class is great because you can make mistakes there. The residents are more tolerant to things that occur. As you grow in class, you realize I really like B class. Delinquency is a little bit better. The tenant criteria is better. The assets are better. They're not as old. I don't have to worry about lead-based paint or aluminum wiring or flat roofs. And I have dabbled in A properties. I've probably about 4 or 5 in my career. Currently, we still have 2. They can make money. The tenants are so demanding. And when something breaks, it's really expensive. And so I think that our bread and butter is going to be that B class.
Okay.
I think now as housing is getting more and more expensive, as mortgage rates are higher, investors are gobbling up the housing more than the end user, the retail buyer. I think it's fantastic space to be in the rental market in owning Class B houses.
Yeah.
Rent's getting out of hand. I think B is that sweet spot. So I think we can do our value add programs. I think we can manage the customer level of service. My model is very simple. I just want it to be functional. I want that water to come out hot on demand. I want the air conditioner to blow out at 68, 70 degrees because I'm in Houston, Texas. It better blow out at that number. And I just want things to work. I don't need to have all the fancy upgraded interiors or the fancy upgraded amenities. I like working class, blue collar. They come home from a hard day's work and they just want everything working. And if you can make everything work, they will stay there a lifetime because renters today will be renting for a long time.
Yeah, the Class B. So again, through your vertical integration with your property management company, I assume that you have some economies of scale there built out where you could probably look at a property and be able to make the numbers make sense more so than somebody who has to have third-party management or has somebody else. So what kind of tools do you have or what kind of inside baseball do you have from having property management company that you can say, I can really make this line item, I can reduce that because we have in-house? Is there anything like that that you can point to specifically that somebody smaller starting out can be like, okay, I know I can move this number?
Right. And I think it's all the numbers, right? Because when I buy a deal, I try to cluster my deals. I pick a market, and that's the market I'm going to invest in. I don't buy here and buy there and buy over there. No, I want to grow a portfolio. So in Houston, my whole region is, I've got a heavy concept. I own 70% of the deals in Humble, Texas. I own 30% of the deals down in Alvin. I own a percentage of the deals in West Houston, in Rosenberg specifically. And then in South Texas, I have a percentage of the deals. So I like to buy deals and then buy another one and buy another one, because you're right. I know what my costs are. I know what my expenses are. I can do staff share. I can share a lead maintenance. I can share a maintenance supervisor to oversee a series of deals and get that level of expertise there. I also have a roving team of maintenance guys that I don't have to go and build somebody else's business and hire a third-party contractor. I have the team. I can come in and fix this. I can fix that. Now, there are certain things like I can't fix boilers. I don't want to touch boilers. And I really don't want to touch electrical panels because I think that's dangerous. But everything else, I can do in-house concrete repair. I can fix my pools. I can get units done. I don't have to outsource to get a make-ready company in. In fact, we've cut back contract services like by 80% in the last 12 months because we really needed to really fine-tune our expenses and really belt tighten. If we're going to absorb this new level, this where we're at is higher taxes, higher insurance, and in some cases, rising debt, you've got to find the fat where you can absorb it. So also watching OT. I watch OT by making sure I have the most qualified people there. If I have OT at a property and I feel like it's properly housed, or I have the right number of people there, if you're using OTs because you're inefficient, you're not good enough for what you do in your job. So I'm very quick to, I hire fast, I fire faster.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes in has a 90-day window, and you have to spark it up. You have to show me you're better than the guy before, whether that's the manager, the assistant, the leasing, or into the maintenance side. And we really find out guys that want to work. Oh, I'm so used, my other company, they're used to third-party paints or third-party this or what. You're at the wrong company, man. See you later. Because that's the mentality. Everybody else can do it. Why can't you do it? We're very good at just bringing down those kind of expenses.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like when the tide does turn and rates stabilize, go down, hopefully, and you have been able to cut those costs, trim that fat, then you'll be in even better position going forward for all the other assets you guys are acquiring. So
that's exactly right.
Let's talk deal specific. So you're syndicating. Do you have a fund? How do you acquire these deals when you guys are going out and buying?
Yeah, so I syndicate the cash. I put probably 5% of the cash in, borrow 75% from the lender, and then I raise the other amounts for my investors, typically repeat investors. 60+% are repeat investors on every new deal. We advertise through social media, word of mouth for the other amount of equity. And of course, if you cash flow and you distribute and you have a good track record, money will find you. If you're good enough, the market will tell you.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. I want to talk specifics. We talk fund managers, we talk operators. I'm curious how you guys are structuring deals. Are you doing 506C? If you're advertising, sounds like you're doing accredited only investments.
Yeah, 506C accredited investors. We put the deal together, but then we operate. And I think that's the key to the game here, is that the deals that are surviving are those deals that are operator driven. I'm a 2-time national of the year. I believe I'm really top near best in class, right? So why? Because I care. I've been doing this 15 years. I see what works. I see what doesn't work. But real estate's easy. People are difficult. I come down hard on my, I got to make sure I have the strongest, best people around me, because they're the ones that are making decisions. I'm not running that $60 million asset or that $30 million asset. My manager is, my lead maintenance is. Are they making the right calls? And then who's their boss? I got a regional. Do they think like me, or do they think like a third party, or do they think like another company that they came from? I ask questions. I watch everything. And any time in my career where I took my eye off the ball and I signed it to somebody else, it bit me in the ass. So I've learned that lesson. I'm aware of everything that goes on in my business, everything. I am HR. I make sure that I handle employee issues. And what do you know? I handle them pretty much within 15 minutes. I don't go in this back and forth. You can't get along with Sue, and Sue saying you're pulling her hair. I'm going to ask you, bro, why are you pulling her hair? She did this to me. Sue, can you figure this out? Can y'all get along, or do y'all both need to go? No, it's okay. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe it's the other board that pulled her hair and she's accusing you. Like, it's just simple. I just get down to it. And y'all want to work, or do y'all want to like do this? Because I'm not going to have this conversation anymore. And so I'm an operator. And I hope you can hear it in my stories and my conversations. Funding and all that. I don't want to be a fund manager. Grant Cardone's a mentor of mine. And the mistake that I've made in my career is I tried to emulate some of the things that he did. And that doesn't work for me. Grant's Grant. I'm Robert. I'll never be him, and he'll never be me. And so I just got to be me. And I've had a lot of success being me. The moment I tried to be somebody else, I wasn't successful.
I love that. That's words of wisdom. I think anybody looking to jump into it, it's one of those things that if you specialize or you're really good at one thing, stick to it, live in your world. Okay. So you're structuring them as syndications and you're advertising. So typically one of your deals right now, if you're looking for multifamily, you find something, it's $20 million purchase, Class B, it's in Dallas, you find the unicorn deal that you want to buy. Like, how are you structuring that with your investors typically? What's a return profile?
Right now with financing, you're going to have to assume probably a 65% loan. So
Yep.
you're going to need 35% equity. You're going to need another 5% for a little bit of closing costs, operating cash. You need to have operating cash in today's market. You don't know what the unexpected is. 3 months of operating cash, 2 months is not enough. You need to have closer to a year. So you got to raise enough equity for that. Could be another couple percentage points. And then you got to have your plan. If I'm going to buy this deal, why this deal? What makes this deal special? Then can you storytell? Like on your team, whether I'm a solo GP, I've never partnered with anybody, but other GP teams that I've seen, somebody's the storyteller, the sales guy, da, 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 da.
Yeah,
Somebody's the underwriter. I can do that too. Somebody is the organizational guy. Someone's going to talk to legal. Someone's going to asset manage. Like I'm a 5-tool player. I can do all of those things. So I sell that. I sell that to my investors. I talk about our previous returns. I tell them, look what's happening in the COVID. Look what's happened now. Look at how our properties have performed through those events, how we could have lost deals. It could have been much worse than what it was, and it wasn't. I go, who are you invested with? Where are you going to put your dollar? And then I talk, of course, about the tax savings and the benefits you're going to get. You would rather have money with me than putting it in the stock market, not knowing what direction the wind's going to blow tomorrow. The Fed farts in one direction and the market goes up 400 points. Today's May 2nd. Yesterday, May 1st, the Fed chair says, what's going on doesn't change my opinion. I think the next move will not be a rate increase. People were wait, I thought, when did you ever say there was going to be a rate increase? You said it'd be a rate cuts.
Yeah.
But the fact that he just said, all he said was what he already had said. He just brought it to reality. I'm going to do a rate cut. I'm not doing a rate hike. The market went up 400 points.
Yeah.
But had he done farted the other direction, the market goes down.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen in multifamily real estate. We ride the waves. You make your money, a little bit of cash flow along the way, but you make your money on the appreciation. And only true owner operators know how to raise that NOI.
Yeah.
Like you have your common NOI boosters like LED lights and valet trash. And then you have our Rockstar NOI boosters, things that I've learned how to raise the NOI.
What are they? Hit me with them.
I do. I'll offer a mastermind. You can come. I'll give you one. I don't do cash deposits. I say, hey, you're going to have to do a cash deposit of 1 month's rent.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to move in here.
Yeah.
Or you can pay me an alternative deposit fee of $36. And that buys you $3,000 of coverage. Now, the coverage is held by me. I let you waive your deposit. I take your $36. But if you take $36 and you get a 200 unit property to pay you $36, that's $7,200 more of cash flow times 12. I'm sorry, do that again. Oh yeah, that was 86,400 divided by 0.06. I just made $1.44 million by not taking a deposit.
Just want to clarify, $36 per unit per month.
Per unit per month, so times 200 units, 7,200 times 12, 86.4 divided by 0.06. I just made $1.4 million of valuation by just saying, I'm not going to take your cash deposit. And where does the cash deposit go? It goes to the balance sheet.
Yeah.
It doesn't help my P&L statement at all. I need NOI. I need income coming in. No one's ever thought about that. I came up with that the other day. I'm like, man, we're going to do this.
That's money. Yeah.
Right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Another thing too, you're going to have to find fees because you can't find it just in the rents. Another one would be to make sure that you charge an account setup fee. It takes time. It takes my agent's time to do this work. So you want to get set up on everything. It's a $15 fee, one-time fee. So it's just little bitty things like that that we can do to increase and strengthen the NOI. And I'm going to tell you, it comes from experience, but also comes from necessity is the mother of invention, man. When you got a gun to your head and it's cocked back and you got to find NOI, you will find NOI. Yeah. Or you'll put your head in the sand.
Yeah.
No, I want to live.
Yeah.
I want to poke a hole in that plastic bag around my head.
There's another operator I was talking to the other day, and I think they moved everything off of their application fee or their deposit turned into like a move-in fee instead. So again, it goes straight to the bottom line instead of having a security deposit you're holding on to. That's really not enough anyway to cover it. So yeah, I wonder if you could charge that along with the 36 per month in order to get, and maybe that'd be two owners. I don't know. Okay, going back though, again, you found this deal in Dallas, you're ready to buy it. What, as an investor, as an LP, if I'm looking at your deal and looking at Rockstar Capital, like what am I expecting on my return profile? Am I a 7, 70, 30? How do you set up and structure your deals? Is it not one size fits all? Each deal, an asset is a different type of return profile, or how do you do it?
Yeah, so we have a standard structure. We have an 80-20 split.
Okay.
I only make money when we make money.
Yeah.
But when I do, I'll take 20, the other 80s put in. I put in around 5% equity.
Okay.
I do charge an acquisition fee because I got to put it together. I'll handle all the costs before that. You're not doing anything until the day we close and you have your equity in the game. And you should expect regular communication. Too many times, an LP guy gives the GP his 100,000 and then he doesn't hear from him. We do monthly calls. We do a whole big portfolio review. I have my asset managers on the call with me, and you're going to get an update on your property. You're going to find out what's going on. How many leases did we do? How many move-ins? How many move-outs? What's our renewal rate? Like, you're going to see all of this stuff. So you're going to get a lot of transparency with me because I don't know how else to be. I need you to know what's going on so that you can track it yourself. A lot of guys, like, they give you $100,000, but then they use third-party management, which basically means you give the $100,000 to third-party management to run for you. Because the guy you gave it to is not even running. He's keeping his day job. Yeah. You're going to get a guy that's completely focused at this. And I've been focused on this since 2007. Very few others that are still in the field can say that. So you're going to get that experience. The team that I've grown myself, handpicked. Most of them are or have grown from within my organization. So they think like me or they wouldn't be here. They'd be gone long ago. And they're all proven winners with significant success and accolades behind them.
Yeah. A couple things. I want to transition a little bit. So what has been your best investment? It may not be a property. It may be people that you invest in, maybe something. What has been your best investment over the time that you've been investing since 2007?
Yeah, I bought a deal in 2011. I paid $15,500 a door. So we paid, I don't know, 1.1 million. We paid 1.5, whatever 126 is times 15.5. Yeah. Let's see what that is. Yeah, I'm curious. So 126 times 15.5. Okay, I paid I paid just under $2 million. I raised 1.1 million for that. And we sold it in 21 for over 80,000 a door. And we picked it up at 15 a door. Yeah. And we only put $1 million into it. Yeah. $1.1 million. And I think we make better part of 900% on that deal. We financed it twice along the way. And so people had a heavy 3 times their money in cash back out of their pocket. The rest was it sitting in the equity. And then somebody came and made me a stupid offer. And I said, done. And I sold it to him in 20. It was a 1974 deal. It had pigtailing. It was flat roof. Like, it's not a deal you really want to hold forever because it's now older now. Think about it. You buy these deals in the 70s, they're like, man, they're like 50 plus years old. Yeah. So stuff starts to wear. Yeah, that was one of our successful deals. I bought another deal in 2012 for 26 a door. I sold that one for 80 a door as well in 2000 and also in 21. I now think about it. Also in 21. So I need to free some equity. I had a bunch of equity sitting there, and the equity gets tired, it gets old. You need to retire it. You've done a good job. What do? They give you money right back. And for me, having my 20%, I got a pretty good split out of that. Mm-hmm. That was my first 7-figure score. So that was fun. Yeah. And being able to, what did I do with it? I redeployed it myself.
Yeah. So again, we've talked a lot. For me, just listening to you talk, you bust your ass. Sounds like you're going out, you're doing the right thing. Within your company or within your investments, like, what kind of legacy are you trying to leave in through your business practices and through your investments? It's one of those things. I think I can hear it, but I want to hear you talk about that.
Yeah, I think number one is that the guy did it the right way. The guy respected everybody that worked it, that touched the deal, that he took care of his investors, even if it meant that he had to take a loss, that he was transparent and he inspired others to bring the very best out of them. I truly believe that I have a little bit of that Michael Jordan effect where you make players around you better. I help you dig in you. I get the best out of you. And many times people will leave me and they're not the same. It's like we had this little aura, this little bubble. That's what happened to Jordan, right? I don't think anybody won after Jordan left. And so I feel like that. I feel like I bring the best out of everybody. And I think everybody here would know that I invest in everybody. I find out what's important to you and I try to make it important to me, and that I'm not going to quit. I'm going to die trying. And in this market, that's what you need. You need that general that's seen a couple of wars that is going to come up with a new trick out of the bag based on something he did in the past and just keep innovating and innovating to keep ahead of the game.
I love it. Like, I have a bunch of questions I could ask, but I think I'll save it for another time because that is a great way to leave it. And I agree. Look, if you are looking to invest, if you want to find out more about Robert and his company, Rockstar, please check the show notes. All your contact information is going to be in there. It's been an awesome conversation, just getting to know you a little bit and seeing what you're working on. So best of luck in the years to come in the multifamily market.
Just a little note, survive to 25. That's the key. You can survive until 25. Rates should be coming down. You're going to be okay. If you want any more notes, find me on Instagram at Apartment Rockstar, or send us a message at 832-242-1196.
Perfect. Awesome. Catch you guys on the next episode.
Did you know that 80% of the agents we speak with got into real estate in order to gain passive income so they could obtain financial freedom and become work optional? If you want to stay up to date, the best way is to make sure you're subscribed. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do it now. We'll catch you on the next episode.